Our attention now turns to Kenya, where nationwide protests continue to shake the country. At the heart of the crisis are growing concerns over governance, human rights violations, and the future of Kenya's democracy. It's all ahead of the 2027 elections. But joining us is Advocate Ndegwa Njiru. He is a prominent constitutional lawyer, and he is here to help us unpack the legal, political, and human rights implications of these recent developments. Hello, Advocate Njiru. Thank you for joining the show today.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. How have you been since the last time we were together?
Good. How have you been?
I've been well. And how is Lagos?
We're in Abuja, actually. Abuja is pretty fun. Yes. All right. So, yes. How is Nairobi?
Nairobi is a bit cold.
Okay.
The economy is equally cold. The politics are equally cold. Everything in Nairobi is cold.
Oh dear. Well, speaking about the economy, now let's start off with President Ruto. He had publicly stated he would not hand over power after the 2027 elections, even if he is voted out. But as a High Court advocate, what constitutional and legal implications would such a statement carry?
Such a statement would carry a reckless and negligent pronouncement from a head of state. Reason being, our constitution is very clear that power belongs to the people and that the people must exercise their sovereignty at a given time. It is given that in our constitutional architecture, it is contemplated that at a particular point X, an election will ensue after every 5 years, and that following that election, there shall be an assumption of office. Our constitution does not speak about handing over power. It speaks about assumptions of office of the president-elect. Therefore, it is an irony of the law and sarcasm of the highest order and a joke of the year for an individual to think that he or she would have anything to do with the question of handing over power. Our constitutional architecture is designed in a manner that once a president-elect is announced by the electoral body, the law says that if there is going to be a petition in the Supreme Court, the petition must be determined within 21 days from the date of the pronouncement of the results. Following which, if the petition is dismissed, 14 days later, the new president shall assume office. In the absence of a petition being filed challenging the presidential election, the law says there is a law called the Presidential Assumption of Office Act. It provides that the president-elect shall assume office 14 days following the pronouncement. And they have given the criteria of assuming office. 1, it must be done between 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock during the day. It must be done in public. It must be gazetted. So there is no place where the president, the exiting president, is required to hand over power. Power transmits and transfers to the new president-elect upon pronouncement of the election results automatically. The others are just official ways of trying to organize that there is a smooth transition. Our transition to the new regime happens upon pronouncement of the elections. So we do not expect Mr. William Ruto to come and offer power to the new president at any given time. He may choose to participate in the transition process or in the assumption of office process, or he may choose not to participate, because the instruments of power, which are the Constitution, the coat of arms, and the sword that is granted to the new president, they are merely ceremonial. The other is moved with the movement of the sovereignty of the people. We do not expect him to hand over power power will transmit upon the election and the pronouncement of the new president. And therefore, the consequence of him not being at the venue where the transmission is taking place is inconsequential. Actually, our law do not even require him to be present. He may choose to be, or he may choose not to be, but power will transmit automatically.
Well, interesting scenario there in Kenya, but let's look at a scenario where such a possibility would unfold. You know, in a scenario where that were to unfold, do you foresee the possibility of national unrest, which would include police shootings and violence, similar to what Kenya has witnessed in the Gen Z protests?
We do not expect to have any unrest because we do not expect there to arise a scenario of where there is resist to transmit. At that particular time, there shall be jubilation. People, instead of going for unrest, they will be meeting at the venue where the new president is being sworn in. Ordinarily, Kenyans are not a restless nation. They are not aggressive nation. Kenya is not a nation, is not constituted of a nation of a people who would ordinarily wish to have unrest. We otherwise seek for peace. We otherwise cultivate and work for peace. And therefore, when the power has already transmitted at the polling station, instead of us going to the streets to cause unrest, we will be where the new president shall be taking over the instruments of power. We are aware that the current regime would wish to create a scenario that would make it difficult to have a peaceful transmission of power. And therefore, the new regime the current regime would wish to create a scenario whereby there is even going to be a state of emergency being declared to make sure that there is no elections, or where there is election, there is no announcement of the results, and where there is no announcement of the results, there is no swearing in of the new president. So we are aware of those scenarios, and we have told our people that we should not fall into that trap. So I do not foresee scenarios that might occasion unrest.
Well, according to the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, we're looking at the protest now. According to Kenya's National Human Rights Commission, over 125 young people have been shot dead and more than 600 disappeared during the recent protest. From a legal standpoint now, how should the government be held accountable?
Remember, one thing is that the current president was an ICC indictee, and his case is still pending before the International Criminal Court.
Yeah.
So we are dealing with a scenario of perhaps a hardened criminal, a president who has even who has faced the highest crimes under the sun of crimes against humanity, forceful disappearance of citizens, extermination of innocent citizens. So we are in a scenario whereby the regime is not keen on addressing the injustice that have been occasioned courtesy of this regime. We are looking at a situation whereby the regime itself has not taken any steps to address delivery of justice to the victims. What the regime has done, they have constituted a moribund committee chaired by the former dean of Buffalo University, Professor Makao Mutua. And they are saying that this committee is supposed to oversee the compensation of the victims. So they are trying to do something out of it, but our position is there cannot be compensation in the absence of justice, because the perpetrators of these heinous crimes needs to be brought to book. So our position as the opposition, we are pushing for the prosecution of the individuals who perpetrated these crimes. But also remember that the president himself is on record indicating that people should be shot in their legs.
Yeah.
The Minister of Interior Mr. Murkomen, is also on record saying that people should be shot dead. The chairperson in charge of our committee for defense in parliament, Mr. Nelson Koech, is also on record saying that people should be shot dead. So those individuals who are giving those unlawful commands, you do not expect that they will operationalize any system or semblance of a system that will address the injustices of the times. But all we are saying is, all these crimes are happening in the open. People are taking note of it, both locally and internationally. And with the culture of the respect of the universality of human rights, people, either within or outside the Republic of Kenya, are taking note. And you may not know who may file a similar reference before the ICC. So even if it doesn't happen today during this regime's time, at a particular point X, justice will be served upon the victims. The new regime will be pressed by the people to make sure that the individuals responsible for all these heinous crimes are brought to book. So they may escape today, but they may not do it tomorrow.
Well, there was a comment we heard from a member of parliament from Wajir County, Fatuma Jehu. Well, he recently alleged that the ruling regime will steal the 2027 elections and that President Ruto must rule 2 terms. How do you assess the credibility and implications of such statements?
Again, it's a reckless statement. Our constitution does not create a scenario that a president must serve for 2 terms. The dictate of our constitution is that a president shall serve for a term of 5 years. So when you serve your first term, it is the people of Kenya to decide whether or not they are going to hand you over a second term. But I can tell you, and I can bet my last dollar, that the situation in Kenya is so bad for the current regime. The people are fed up with this regime. The people are fed up with the lies that have been perpetrated by this regime, the deaths that have been occasioned by this regime, the abductions that have occurred as a result of this regime, the stealing of public resources that is happening courtesy of this regime. People are saying it's 1 term. And they have resolved that Mr. William Ruto shall serve for a period of 1 term. And then we are going to hand over a new regime. So the statement made by the Wajir women rep is neither here nor there. It's a statement that is meant in that she made in her attempts to make her look good in the eyes of the current regime. Otherwise, the 1-term pot is still boiling, and we shall serve in that 1 pot upon Mr. William Ruto at the appropriate time. So you better take it from us that people are resolved to have the 1-term movement all the way to the ballots.
Okay, so if Kenyans perceive the election outcome as manipulated, what level of resistance or backlash do you anticipate from the public?
Of course, we expect that we shall launch our petition before the Supreme Court, and we want to remain as much as possible.
Advocate Ndegwa, are you there?
So that
okay.
Sorry. We want to make sure that we remain within the 4 corners of our constitution as much as possible. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
We do not want to engage the people. We do not want to engage our people in extra constitutional means. Because we are aware, the moment we leave the constitutional path, we may never get back to it. So our disputes, either arising from the our disputes, either arising from the elections or otherwise, shall be determined and resolved within the constitution mechanisms, the constitutional mechanisms that have been created. One of them being the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya. So we shall not engage in whatsoever way in extra constitutional means that may bring a blink of our country, our democracy, and the breakdown of the rule of law. So we shall resolve our disputes within the four corners of our constitution.
Well, critics are accusing the government of deploying the Subaru, I think I got that wrong, the Subaru killer squad, and that's to abduct and silence dissent. So from your legal expertise, how would these allegations affect Kenya's democracy and the rule of law?
The use of the word Subaru is just symbolic. I don't know whether in Abuja you have these small vehicles, very fast, swift motor vehicles manufactured by the Subaru company.
No, we do not.
It's the one that they are being used by the abductors and the persons who are killing our innocent Kenyans. And perhaps note that we have a 12-year girl who was shot dead while she was watching television in her mother's or her father's sitting room.
Yes, we remember.
On the Sabasaba, on the Sabasaba. The Subarus are the people killing Kenyans are using those motor vehicles. So the use of that Subaru is symbolic that the killer squad is being ferried with those motor vehicles. Of course, it's affecting our democracy. It's affecting our freedom of expression. It's affecting our right to assemble under Article 37 of the Constitution, our freedom of expression and Article 33 of the Constitution. It's affecting the ability of the people to freely exercise their sovereignty under Article 1 of the Constitution. It is affecting our ability under Article 31 of the Constitution. So it is, yes, it is becoming a big impediment. 3 weeks ago, the opposition members of parliament and the members of opposition, they met somewhere in a church in a county called Murang'a County, Kigumo constituency. The member of parliament of that particular constituency was also present. We were sprayed with live bullets. Live bullets. We all escaped death by whisker. You can Google that. It's all, of course, in the internet.
Yeah.
You'll see how desperate this regime is to ensure that there is no freedom of association, freedom of democracy, freedom of expression, freedom of the opposition to meet and sell their agenda to the people. And that's why we are so saddened by the silence of our friends. We are worried by the silence of our friends than the noise being made by our adversaries and our enemies. Why? Because even when such a thing happens, neither the people are not coming out in condemnation of this regime. But the good things are happening. 2 weeks ago, the Congress of the United States Congress has picked up some of these things. I know the matter is before the Congress. That's what I'm saying, that the regime may close its eyes internally, but externally, there are other eyes that are watching.
Okay. Well, Advocate Ndegwa, thank you for joining us on the show today. But before I let you go, in your professional opinion, what's the most urgent step Kenya must take now to safeguard its democracy? And this is all ahead of 2027.
One of the steps that must be taken, the international community must reign over Mr. William Ruto. The international community must restrain William Ruto from killing Kenyans, abducting Kenyans, suppressing any dissident voice, shrinking the democratic space, abrogating and violating our constitution. The international community must reign upon William Ruto to stop the national spillage, stealing and corruption that is happening in our national coffers. The international community must press on Mr. William Ruto, to expand the democratic space other than shrinking it. He must be pressed to respect the rule of law. He must be pressed to respect our constitution. He must be pressed to respect the Bill of Rights. And he must be told that if it happened to him when he was seeking for votes in 2022, today he may not be president. He must be told that it is important for us to differ and disagree with respect, and that the disagreements should not occasion deaths, abductions, forceful disappearances, abrogation of the constitution. Number two, he must be pressed by the international community to accept the results of the elections as and when they are pronounced by the IBC. Equally well, he must be told that he must not interfere with the electoral process at any given time in whatsoever manner, either directly or indirectly, either perhaps by interfering the procedures of procurement of the electoral materials, the suppression of the voters. He must be told that each and every registered voter must be granted an opportunity to vote freely without suppression. Because we are aware there are some regions in this country where suppression may be a strategy. So we are saying and when the elections are called, as and when the elections are called, people must be allowed to freely exercise their democratic rights without suppression. Finally, Mr. William Ruto must be told that he must not use state apparatus like the police to suppress any voice that is not in agreement with whatever he is doing. State apparatus must be left for the protection of the entire citizenry, whether they agree or disagree with Mr. William Ruto. Those are some of the bare minimums that must be done to ensure that we have a free, fair, secure, and credible elections. Mr. William Ruto must not use the state apparatus to suppress or to attempt to intimidate or embarrass the opposition.
Okay. Advocate Ndegwa Njiru, thank you for joining us on the show today and sharing your insights. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And say hi to the Abuja.
Of course.
When I come to Abuja, I look for the agege bread.
Of course, you will find it, and we hope to host you live in our studios. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming.
We'll make lesser plans once I'm in Abuja.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope to see you. All right, so we were speaking with Advocate Ndegwa Njiru. He is a constitutional law lawyer and also an advocate of the High Court in Kenya. Well, Kenya's unfolding political and constitutional debate remains one to watch closely. It's not just for the region, but also for Africa's democratic future. We will continue to bring updates on these developments as they continue. We are still watching Global Digest on ADBN. We take a break at this moment and return with reports from Europe. Just stay with us.
Now here's some exciting news. ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms on Avo TV app, ADBN channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limex World TV app, ADBN TV. Get the latest news straight to your phone. Join our WhatsApp channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across our social media handles. handles on X at ADBN_TV, Instagram at ADBN_TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV_NG, and keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.